International Financial Reporting Standards. As the economy changes and shifts from time to time, set standards need to be developed in order to continue with the ongoing financial changes that we see every day. There are two main accounting standard setting entities: the International Accounting Standards Board, which is IASB, and the Financial Accounting Settings Board, FASB. In order to maintain consistency with the accounting world, the global economy, and the ease in which the capital flow now goes across national borders has created the demand and necessity for a set of quality accounting standards worldwide is needed. Two account standard setting bodies have taken up this challenge to create financial accountancy consistency globally. The IASB and the FASB are in for a huge challenge, but a very demanding challenge in the financial accountancy world. A set standard of financial accountancy is similar to having the same medical terminology across the world. This would ensure the same accounting language nationwide, if not worldwide. The two main entities have the objective to create and develop a set of accounting standards that are congruent with International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, and the General Accepted Accounting Principles, GAAP, or GAAP for the United States. The ideal outcome is that both boards reach a common understanding on the issues of financial instruments for credit impairments and jointly develop a model that is acceptable to all stakeholders. Currently, there are many items put in place to regulate and control financial reporting. However, with the shift of financial reporting, this could help or hinder the current situation now and in the future. The question that is plaguing most companies is, are the financial statements prepared under IFRS substantially different from those prepared under US GAAP? At a broad level, the answer is no. Both require the same information on both reports: balance sheets, income statements, cash flow information, stockholder equity information, and other related information. There are differences between the two, but truly not many. Financial accounting. Financial accounting is mandatory for external reports, and it needs to comply with rules such as Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, the GAAP, and International Financial Reporting Standards. Each and every enterprise is required to complete financial reports for their industry. This not only helps to see where the health of a company is, but it's also a great tool for comparisons of other companies in the same foothold. In order to understand the business and how to manage this business, the company needs financial reports to make decisions, make changes, and implement new ideas and methods. Without exception, all companies plan business activities, finance those activities, and invest in those activities, and then even engage in those operating activities. Understanding the basic information of financial accounting will help both boards make a better decision about standardization of financial reporting. Financial accounting is concerned with reporting financial information with external parties such as stockholders, creditors, and regulators. Each report is mandated by one of the standard setting boards. Companies are required to follow these financial accounting reporting structure that is laid out by one of the boards. International Accounting Standards Board, better known as IASB. It oversees the development of accounting standards. IFRS also has a reporting method, and it continues to focus on producing standards for the world capital market. International Accounting Standards Board is just one of a few standard-setting financial reporting boards that exist today. The International Accounting Standards Board oversees the development of accounting standards for the vast number of countries outside the U.S. Approximately 14 years ago, the IASB and another entity decided to come together to make a joint effort in creating what we know now as international accepted practices within financial reporting. Before this, there was no set standards for accounting reports. Several years ago, the SEC, or Securities Exchange Commission, implemented a new method to infuse IFRS into the U.S. reporting system. Larger companies began to use IFRS method of reporting compliant financial statements, and foreign private issuers on the U.S. stock exchanges are currently permitted to file IFRS financial statements without reconciliation to the U.S. GAAP, and as was previously required. As companies and businesses boom across the nation, it is imperative to define, control, and manage the financial reporting of the companies. This is what IASB has done and is currently continuing to do for the reporting of accounting. One of the main areas that IASB needed to define is public accountancy. As it is apparent from the IASB Due Process Handbook, an elaborate due process has been developed that contains features of administrative, procedural, and substantive due process. As this accounting board with several other collide and determine what is the best course of action for the general public, we will continue to receive little by little more information on this change. The Financial Accounting Standards Board, better known as FASB. They currently have control for setting account standards within reporting structure for finances, converging with IASB, providing consistency. The Financial Accounting Standards Board is a standard-setting board that is in current control for setting the standards for report financial information to U.S. entities. On May 28th, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, FASB, and the International Accounting Standards Board, IASB, released a new standard on revenue recognition. It is intended to improve and clarify how financial professionals prepare financial statements and ensure top-line reporting of revenue. It is important to know the why behind this convergence. Consistency across the nation will provide more consistency within the firms and government information alike. Another important note is that completing this convergence will reduce and completely minimize differences between the GAAP and IFRS. Much of the information has been discussed and a plan has been developed for these. However, there are still 4 remaining joint projects: revenue recognition, financial instruments, leases, and insurance. Securities and Exchange Commission, better known as SEC, their main goal is to provide investors maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets and to facilitate capital formation. Securities and Exchange Commission is, as I said, to protect investors, maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets and to facilitate capital formation. As mentioned before, more and more companies are developing and starting new. The SEC provides information on how to manage and operate effectively. The laws, rules, and regulations that are governed for the market and financial information are derived from the SEC. The SEC provides a common pool of knowledge for all investors to use to judge for themselves whether to buy, sell, hold a particular security. It just depends. Only through the steady flow of timely, comprehensive, and accurate information can people make the sound investment decisions. SEC specifically works with all entities in regard to financial information for the most accurate, reliable, and true information that is current. SEC is also responsible for maintaining the integrity of the financial exchange and security network. SEC has been known to enforce the rules and regulations laid out by using civil enforcement or legal action as a method to have violators stay compliant. The SEC provides a common pool of knowledge for all investors to use to judge for themselves whether to buy, sell, or, like I said, hold that security. So what is the future outlook? And it comes down to maintaining financial integrity. They have a Norwalk agreement. They're obviously taking things international, so this is a global issue. And all financial personnel should become well versed in these upcoming changes. Maintaining integrity of the financial market is of utmost importance. How will this benefit other enterprises and customers nationwide? Well, with these changes coming down the pipeline, that does what this does is hold in the future for companies. What does it? After the joint meeting in September 2002, the FASB and the IASB issued their Norwalk Agreement, in which they acknowledged their commitment to the development of high-quality, compatible accounting standards that can be used both domestically and cross-border financial reporting. By implementing this convergence, this will not only provide significant improvements with the GAAP, but also IFRS while eliminating the minor differences between the two. Important to note that while this convergence is being developed, both GAAP and IFRS are working jointly to ensure accuracy and best practices are implemented. As mentioned on the IFRS website, CPAs and other personnel in the accounting industry should become well-versed and prepared for this shift in the near future. The Securities and Exchange Commission could designate a date for voluntary or even mandatory adoption of IFRS by all U.S. public companies. Moreover, the effects of converting IFRS or similar in the near future. Conversion to IFRS is much more than an accounting exercise. It will affect many aspects of the U.S. company's operations, from IT systems and tax reporting to internal reporting and key performance metrics and tracking of stock-based compensation. No changes have been mandated at this time. Once all of the discrepancies can be addressed and standardized, then there will be a mandatory changeover. So in conclusion, GAAP and IFRS both capture, aggregate, summarize, and report economic activities on an accrual basis. They create a global finance reporting system. IFRS and FASB have a long-term partnership in order to create this global reporting system. And it should say the IASB, While account titles and note details differ, the underlying principles are the same. That is, the U.S. GAAP and IFRS both, like I said, capture, aggregate, and summarize. IASB and the FASB will continue to create well-developed financial reporting that will work across all firms and enterprises. This will maintain the integrity of the financial market in the future. The prime advantage touted for uniform global standards is that they will produce comparable financial statements all across the world. This international convergence is much needed in order to create and maintain consistency within the global market. There's been issues that arose with this global debacle within accounting and financial information reporting systems. The IASB and FASB will continue to work closely to maintain a mathematical delivery system that will provide consistency, congruency, and a standardized approach across the nation, if not worldwide. All of the standard setting boards will continue to deliver new information as they find out more about global market information and the transition that is coming down the pipeline in the near future. Stay tuned for what changes might be out there and how soon they will be coming.